Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show with Chris, KJ, and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
Good morning, guys. That new intro, though.
That was awesome. That's great. I love it.
I'm glad you dig it, man. Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, it was time for a little bit of an update. I've been redoing all of our intros for the network and kind of just wanted to redo one for Sippin' Sports. The first one I had was a little bit rushed. And also I developed a new skill of making intros like that. So when it was time to decide what to do for Sippin' Sports, as you guys see, there's a lot of sentimental moments on there. I'm sure we'll do one every year. Updated. We'll get some more memories on there, the three of us this year. But that's just after 2 seasons of me knowing Chris and KJ, meeting both of them, Philly Sports Guys event. And now, obviously, we became super close. KJ and I obviously vacationed multiple times, now going to California together.
Yep, that's right. Next week.
Ton more memories. But besides the point, it's another Saturday morning. Just for some context, we're pre-recording the show on Friday night. Phillies just lost. Olympics, it's opening night. Talking about a little bit of Eagles training camp. All of this and a ton more. But diving into our first topic, kind of the hottest topic, I think, right now in Philly sports. I'll go ahead and let you take it first, KJ. Wells Fargo is no more. So another brand's going to have to step up to the plate. Obviously, crazy time for us. I guess when we were younger, it was the Wachovia Center back in the day, the Spectrum, and, Wells Fargo, the Farg, as I used to call it, it's over now. So how are you feeling about this, and what's next for the Farg?
It's bittersweet. I mean, I've always kind of felt like, there's certain stadiums that will always be like the Link is always going to be the Link. I mean, you kind of see it with LA. With like the Lakers, like when they lost recently Staples Center and it became Crypto.com Arena, the fans there still call it the Staples Center. It is known as the Staples Center. It'll always be the Staples Center over there. They just changed the name. So I think with the Wells Fargo Center, whatever name it is, it'll be easy to transition because I feel like it's kind of just like it's obviously a bank name, but it also it just Lincoln Financial Field. I don't know what it was, even though it was a financial group. It had something that just a way Lincoln Financial Field. I don't know. It was just a different kind of way they said it. And it's more of an iconic kind of name.
It's fancy. Yeah.
Yeah. And even Citizens Bank Park, same kind of thing too. But for Wells Fargo, I think it's just here's the thing too. Wells Fargo is kind of like a weird name if you think about it as well. Wells Fargo, that's why it's kind of odd. But yeah, it was Wachovia for a little bit, and it was a Spectrum as well, and it was some other names. But yeah, it seems like Wells Fargo wants nothing to do with it anymore, and we'll see what they go with. I know there's been a lot of people saying, "Oh, it should be the Wawa Center, it should be Wawa Arena." I'm telling you this right now. As much as all of us Philadelphians want it to happen, well, okay, yes, okay. There's actual betting odds on it, really.
You can bet on anything on Cut, FYI. But there is odds on it. These odds are made by me. So this is just made by Dalton. But my odds that I made for it really quick, not to interrupt
Wow.
you, but it'll give you more context. I think you'll find it funny too. Wawa was plus 200. Xfinity was the next favorite at plus 770. Giant was plus 900.
Okay.
Pico Power Play Center would go hard, is plus 1300. I use Delmarva Excellion Company too. So if I'm paying my bill, I would like to at least be able to say the Pico Power Play Center. Just saying.
Yeah.
Next up, Hers Center. Hers Potato Chips, I
Yep.
think, is a pretty good candidate to step up. Turkey Hill. Chickies and Pete's was on there. I hate the Steven Singer Center.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Cut Center, obviously with Cut. Somebody said to me and messaged me, said, when are we going to get the 302 Birds Field House? Hell no, I could not afford that rent. You got a couple extra dollars laying around, Mac, huh? You and me, we'll split it, right?
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's under the mattress.
It's under the mattress. But I am
against the
interested to
grass.
see what Philly brand. I mean, who would make you the happiest, KJ? Like, who would you think is kind of the coolest? It doesn't have to make the most sense.
The coolest is probably Wawa, but is it going to happen? No, it's probably not going to happen. A better chance of Wawa being involved with a Philadelphia team is them being the sponsor patch on the side of the jerseys for the Phillies next season. You saw it with Pittsburgh with the Pirates. They have it for sheets. So that would be insane. And you already saw Bryce Harper. He already got like some deal with Wawa. I think I told you I bought.
Yeah, get ready for this, guys. This is really cool. KJ got
Wawa shirt.
the Bryce
Absolutely.
Harper Under Armour. There you
Remember, I
go.
was just showing a couple episodes ago. We were just showing this, and I actually bought it. I was a man of my word, and I bought it. I did.
It looks great, dude. And
It's-
it
it's
goes
all-
with
it
the
even
color
has-
scheme, too.
On the bottom, it even has the Wawa and Under Armour barcode. That's what it has right there.
Be careful. You don't want anybody to get your order of like your
I
medium
know. How crazy would
Hoagie
that be?
Fest.
How crazy would that be if it starts like? I mean, the good thing is they don't have sensors at Wawa's and stuff like that, so nothing's gonna go off like crazy. Which I'm surprised they don't have sensors. But yes, I think that is what everybody's saying. Oh, it should be the Wawa Center. It should be the Wawa Center. I'm gonna tell you, I'm 99% sure it's not gonna happen. As much as I want it to happen, 100%, but 99% sure it's not happening.
Wait, so now you got me wondering. Now you got me thinking, KJ. They had the Kelsey that's going around. What would be the McCoy? Or what would go on the McCoy at Wawa?
The McCoy. Oh, geez. Geez, yeah. So it'd probably be it would be Italian hoagie, but it would be the non-spicy peppers, and it would be with lettuce,
Banana
and tomato.
peppers?
What's up?
Banana peppers, the yellowish ones?
No, not the banana ones. No. It's they're the non-spicy ones. I forget what they're called, but that's my usual to go kind of order, I guess. I mean, I've been getting that recently. It's like a sweet pepper thing. Oh, and
Like
it's
cherry
got,
peppers, right?
oh no, it's like the honey smothered pepper, something like that. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like honey smothered or something like that. But that's honestly really freaking good, and I've been having that a lot recently. So that's my go-to if I had to choose a sandwich for the McCoy hoagie.
The McCoy hoagie. So there you go.
Yeah.
And what would be your side and your drink that would go along with it as the meal? It's the
Oh,
combo.
the side? Oh, I always go. You know, it's kind of odd. I mean, I've always been a fan of it since I was little. The Snickerdoodle cookies are underrated at Wawa.
Oh, look at that.
So
Okay.
they're underrated. I really do think they're underrated. So that, and then probably go for a Wawa lemonade or something like that.
To wash it down. Okay. I
Yeah,
like
probably
that.
something like that.
So I think if I had to make the Dutch, it would be two different things, but I probably just got to go with, if I went there, I would want to make something that people would like. Like
Yeah.
there's like what I would like. And then there's like
Or what
what
Tommy
normal-
would like. I can hear ballpark right now in your ear. Dutch, you gotta put some mustard on this and
vinegar
you need to
and
put chips in
salt
there. You put chips
and
in there, Dutch.
pepper. Yeah.
Put
So
some peppers. Come on, Dutch.
the Dutch would be there. Yeah, we'll do the Dutch and then the Dalton. The Dutch would be a chicken tender with buffalo sauce, lettuce, banana peppers, salt, pepper, Parmesan cheese, on a shorty roll because that's a lot of shit. And then with a bag of salt and vinegar chips, kettle cooked, and a peach iced tea. I like their peach tea there. And then my normal lunch, the Dalton, if I'd like make like a professional one, that people would like, I would probably say, okay, I'll do turkey, cheese, mayo, lettuce, then put it on a classic roll, white roll, banana peppers, kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips, always. And then either a Coke or a raspberry tea would be mine. But they're turkey and cheese. I mean, mine would be pretty identical. I saw to the Kylie. Mine was pretty much the same thing, except I just didn't use the wheat roll because, YOLO. But
Yeah, I don't understand the whole wheat roll thing. I mean, it's insane. I always felt
it
like
wasn't that bad.
I always felt like it was a punishment growing up, wheat bread and everything.
Alyssa got me to try them because she's been eating them lately, and they aren't that bad, I will say. But speaking of some people who have been eating healthy, a lot of Olympians have been training a long time to go here. Yeah, it all starts tonight. How are you feeling about it? Between General James, LeBron
James,
flag.
That's right. Yeah, the Olympics. I did watch the ceremony today. It was very interesting. I mean, a lot of it really didn't have anything to do with sports. I mean, first of all, there was a phantom kind of guy running around in a canoe and around France, and he was jumping to buildings, and then he had like some kind of weird. He was on like a tightrope thing. It was crazy. What's it called? Zip line. He was on a zip line as well, and it was weird as heck. But then all of a sudden, I mean, they were showing all the cities. I mean, not the cities, all the countries. My fault. I didn't get confused, but all the countries were on boats, so it was really cool. And you would see all the athletes. I mean, some countries, it's crazy to think they'll just be like, oh yeah, for instance, and I don't think there's actually the number for this place, but I'm trying to think of a country that had this many people, but there was a couple countries that said like, oh, only 5 athletes, and you saw like 5 people on the boat. So, but it was different because I've seen other Olympics where they do the introductions and they show, I mean, they're all like going around the stadium and they're waving to all the fans, but they did it on a boat this time, which was kind of cool. And then they had some kind of fashion show, which had nothing to do with sports, and had some very interesting people on there. So, I mean, it was odd. I even saw a bearded woman, so that was odd. But
yeah, I heard that there was a lot of controversy about that. My favorite photo of the night was Embiid with the Olympian sunglasses on.
Yeah,
that just shows how much he embraces, being it's an impressive feat, an impressive honor representing your country on a national stage like that. And I know that obviously he wasn't from America before. Now he has that dual citizenship, but being able to say, hey, I'm able to represent you guys now. This is where I call home now, and embracing it to the fullest. You love to see it as a Philadelphia fan. So, you see all the memes and the jokes of him too, like of everybody yelling at, and it looks like they're genuinely having a good time. You see LeBron, every meme of him like on the boat, everybody's
that's what I was about to say.
General
with the
George
American
Washington.
Flag. They're like putting him side to side with George Washington. I mean, like it's iconic, dude. It's really iconic. I mean, it's always. I mean, people have a lot of opinions about LeBron. You hate him or you love him.
I love him,
but you gotta realize too, he is a great guy. He does a lot of great things for the community as well. So, and I mean, he's one of the greatest athletes to ever step on this earth. So, I mean, you gotta acknowledge him. He is the king. So that's just how it is. I mean, either you hate him or you don't. Like that's just how it is. But I think he totally did deserve to be the flag bearer, I think it's called. I think that's what their title is called. But that was pretty cool. And then I know the tennis player Coco was the other representative with the flag. So that was really cool.
Yeah, he definitely did deserve that. Sorry, I just noticed the same thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to also say I wrote a paper on, I don't know if you ever knew this. I might have told you this on our trip to Florida. This is why I'm a huge LeBron fan. I wrote a whole research paper on LeBron James about his life, his upcoming, everything when I was in 7th grade. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for LeBron James. And whether you love him or hate him, you're going to love him during this series because he's the best damn player on the team at 40 years old.
Yeah, he's
That
nearly
is
40 years
nuts.
old.
You see these other athletes talking about who are 22, 23, 24, 25. LeBron James is like passing them, has more adrenaline, has more stamina than them. And they're just like, yo, you're 40. Like, how are you? I think that LeBron's going to be a different animal this year because now Bronny is in the NBA. So I think that this is kind of like LeBron's training camp or preseason in like NFL terms, like he's just getting ramped up for the regular season.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a new LeBron James. I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised with what he does.
Yeah.
And I think he's also probably if he solidifies gold medal in this, he could be the greatest, I think, Olympian basketball player for America of all time and surpass Jordan, I would say. I would say it's probably between him and Jordan as far as Olympian wise. What would you say?
Kobe was insane because Kobe was undefeated in his record with USA. Like they never lost. Like that's the crazy thing. Like, and when you saw him play for USA, it was insane. But same thing with LeBron. And I mean, there was some recent games too where, I mean, you saw they were exhibition games. They didn't really count. But we nearly lost to South Sudan, which was crazy. But LeBron just went off. He went off in like the last – I mean, he made the winning basket, which was great. But then also they recently almost lost to Germany, and LeBron had to score like 6 points in like the last 2 minutes or something, and he just did it, and he just went off. Like, I mean, when you need him to go do something, he'll do it. And I think what you were saying too was the whole like preseason thing. I mean, that kind of brings up – I mean, that kind of transitions with Joel Embiid as well. I mean, I know some people were like, oh my gosh, why is Embiid doing this? Why is he playing in the Olympics when he's not even going to go play for his own country of Cameroon or even France? He's going to play for the USA. So honestly, at first I was a little like, okay, like, why are you going to go play in the Olympics for USA? But now I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll actually motivate you to keep on going. And I mean, like, obviously, like, I mean, maybe it does make him a little bit more seasoned. I mean, when it does come to postseason in the NBA, but you never really know. Maybe it's going to even help him even more and get him even more motivated. So I think he is motivated because he said he really joined the Team USA for his son because his son was born here. So yeah, it's interesting and we'll see what happens. And obviously all the other games as well. I mean, I wish we can cover all the games and talk about them as much, but basketball is the most we can kind of relate to. So that's why we kind of decided to talk about basketball out of all the sports. So don't take it personal if we didn't talk about rowing or swimming. I mean, I did like watching Michael Phelps. That was legendary, but there's no Michael Phelps anymore. So somebody's got to take over the reins.
I want to watch Olympic rugby. There's Olympic sevens, and that's going to be a ton if you guys have never watched rugby, I actually was a rugby manager in high school. Jack played rugby in college, for you guys who don't know, on 302 Birds. He had a scholarship and everything. He was a legit bad rugby player. Like, not like bad like that. Like, he was a bad mofo when you didn't want to mess with him. Like, he had great tackling. He could drop his hips. He was a good player for a long time. And I just always enjoyed watching the sport. My other buddy Rap, same thing. My other buddy Josh. I mean, all my friends who played rugby were very good at it. And it was just fun watching the game, watching them play, because I knew them, obviously. But it's similar in a way to football, but you have to be a lot tougher than football players, I'll say, because there's no pads. You're out there risking it all, running at people. Cleats are getting stepped on you. You don't really have any protection. You're going under people. And sevens is a lot more fast. Like, traditional rugby is 15 on 15, whereas sevens is kind of like, it would be like 7-on-7 football, same thing, or 5-on-5. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be a ton more games, but like KJ said, if we didn't mention your sport. It's no disrespect, just obviously America. That's what is the most interesting. Pivoting now,
Yeah.
I see you got on the hat, and obviously tonight wasn't the best. Wasn't the best, but Stotty, I mean, the one benefit was I guess, the longest home run of his career, was it?
Yeah, from what I heard. And I mean, he's been in a slump. He's been awful. I mean, but that was a great booster, I feel like, for him. I mean, I think he's been really in his feelings recently. And it seems like the fans were gunning on him a little bit as well. And I don't think there wasn't any booze or anything like that, but you could kind of feel the tension, and you kind of realize sometimes, like, when okay, like something's going wrong, like, okay, you need to get back to like where you were before. And it seems like, I mean, I know it's just one home run, but heck, I mean, if he can keep it going, that'd be great. And I mean, I'm not saying hit a home run every play. I mean, if he can get his batting average back up to what it was before, because he's been in a slump. So, but I think that was a good booster for him. And I think obviously this team right now, though, they need guys like that stepping up just like that. Because I mean, losing 3-1 against the Guardians, which the Guardians are a great team. Right now, we have lost, I think it's 4 in a row. I'm pretty sure it's 4 or 5 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's been the most we've had so far. And you keep on hearing about like the Mets, they're on fire right now. So, I mean, am I getting
Dude,
a little
where's
worried?
Steglio been? I'm shocked that we haven't heard from JJ.
Well, him and I think some other, well, he's been doing his, I heard he's been doing like his announcing camp. So he's
Oh,
been
okay.
doing
So
that
that's why he's
recently.
been away. Shout out to
Yeah.
JJ. I know he's working hard at that. We
Yeah,
hope
he's
all is
working
well.
hard.
But I'm sure when he comes back, he will be letting his favorite Philly fans know how great the Mets are doing. So that'll
Yeah,
be
he
fun
probably
to
will.
hear.
He'll be jumping. Yeah, he'll be jumping on the bandwagon for sure. I know he's doing that, but
Not even
yeah, I mean,
bandwagon. He sticks
right.
around. So
He
you
does. He
can't.
sticks around. That's
Yeah.
true.
He'll be jumping
Sometimes
on,
I
I guess,
remember
the wagon.
Yeah, I do remember last year. He was like, "I'm just done with and he stopped watching the Mets, and he was just, and then like he came back to it. So, but yeah, this team needs to get back on track. They're gonna play the Guardians back again tomorrow, and then Sunday as well. But then they have their matchup with another struggling team, and that's the New York Yankees. So, I mean, if they don't win this series against the Guardians and they can't win the series against the Yankees, then I think we can start getting our brown paper bags out and start breathing out of them and doing our huff and puff and everything like that, whatever you want to say. Because, yeah, it might be some time to panic a little bit, but I don't know. It is good, though, that we've been making some moves. We made a move today. That's a good thing, and we'll get into it in just a little bit, actually. So,
Yeah, that is great. So stay tuned for that. We got some news for you guys. But like KJ said, and being Austin Hayes, I don't know why. We'll talk about it, but I don't know why I'm like alluding to it, because I forget it's Saturday. Everybody already knows the trade. It's not like,
that's why I was like, why am I alluding to it?
Deadpool Wolverine, wink, wink, nod, nod, hint, hint. We're not going to give out any spoilers, but Phillies, man, you hit the nail on the head, KJ. If they lose to the Guardians and the Yankees, that's when I think we start to hit the panic button as fans, and we go like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like this is not going to be good. They need to keep up this momentum that they had the first half, or at least 75%, 80% of it, because they need to be a 1 seed, I think, going into the playoffs in order to get to the World Series to win it. The Phillies are that team. I love them to death, but they're that team that their own worst enemy is themselves. So, like, they're the only thing standing in their way. They have such a good roster. There's no excuse for them not to win the NL, or no excuse that they can't, There's other teams that can, but there's no reason that the Phillies can't. And when you look at this team, the way that they're built, the trade that they just made for Hayes today, I mean, there's no reason why this team should not only be a World Series contender, but go to the World Series. It's not show up in the world. It's go and win it. Get it now. Like, your window's closing. We're getting impatient as Philly fans. We want a parade. Give us what we want. And I think that they'll bounce back. I do. I think maybe the Yankees series might be time because the Yankees have really just been inconsistent all year is maybe a good word. They started out
They
hot
can't
as
even beat their
shit.
little brothers right now. They can't even beat the Mets. They got swept by the
Mets.
Mets in the Subway Series.
Oof.
Both games at Citi Field and at Yankee Stadium. They cannot beat the Mets this year at all. I don't know what it is. I mean, the Yankees are probably the more talented team. I think they are. I think they have a better pitching squad. I think they do have they have way better batters than the Mets. But the problem is, though, that they're their worst enemies right now when they play the Mets. That's kind of like us with the Marlins for some reason. Every year it just seems like we cannot beat the Marlins. I don't know what it is, but that freaking fish with a freaking needle in its freaking face stabs us in the freaking back every year. That's what happens. It's like
You were so
jumps
right.
out of the water, goes right into our backs and pierces us. So, but
the Marlins own
I
us.
do hope they can get back on track. And it was not a good one tonight, though. Not a good one.
Yeah, not pretty. And the shitty connects, it made me think of that uniform I watched. I was going to post, maybe I'll post.
Have they won with those jerseys? I mean, have they won?
I want to look up what their record is. We should look that up. All we have to do after the show is look up what is the Phillies' home record on Friday nights in 2024. Because every home game they played in 2024 has been in a City Connect uniform. So that'll tell us their record so far.
Well, just on Fridays,
Yeah, just on Fridays. There you go. So we'll look that up in a minute, maybe for you guys. I'm sure Stat Moose will have it or after the show and post it because I'm interested to see it too. But I'm sure it's probably around 40%, 30%, 50%. Not sure exactly. But KJ, I know you were alluding to it earlier. You want to go ahead and take it first and talk about this trade that the Phils made for Austin Hayes, the trade with Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, so right down 95. I mean, he was already at the Citizens Bank Park, actually, literally I think 2 hours after the trade, which was crazy. So that's insane. I mean, it is just that close. But yeah, Austin Hayes from the Orioles. He's a great fielder. He's not so much of a big hitter. I mean, it's not like, he's going to be hitting a bunch of homers for us and he's going to be an RBI king for us. It's not really how it is, but he's going to be our starting center fielder, it seems like. And that's going to be great to see for sure. I mean, we need a guy like him, and he seems like he's got a really good vision for where the ball is and tracking the ball. So that's really good to see. And I've talked to some Orioles fans about him too. So I mean, they said, yeah, he's done some good things and some bad things, but for the most part, more good things. So yeah, it's good to hear. And I mean, it is kind of bittersweet to trade away Christian Pache, because I like Pache. I always did. I always felt like he was hyped up, and he did win a World Series with the Braves, but for some reason here he seemed like he would get cold, especially, batting wise, he just was cold. He's not a batter at all. He really is just a guy in the field. That's what it seems like. He's a center fielder for sure, but he's a backup. He's a rotational kind of player. And then we had we traded away Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's been kind of mediocre this year. So I think they finally, we keep on thinking that we were let's just keep on testing Sir Anthony. Let's just, you know what, he'll be all right. He'll really help us out. But that's just happened in the past. But recently he just has not been on the mark at all. He really hasn't. So I think that was a good move to get rid of him. And I think it was good though to not give up any of our farm system, any players from the Red and Phils, or any players from the Jersey Shore team as well, the Blue Crabs. So or any prospects like Tommy loves Andrew Painter. We didn't have to give up him. So, but we still could. So I keep on hearing there's some rumors that we might try and get another pitcher, because we did just get rid of a pitcher. So if you get rid of a pitcher, most likely you probably are going to get a pitcher, or you're hinting to getting a pitcher. So we'll see. I think we need another relieving pitcher now, especially since Sir Anthony is gone. I think you have to go for it.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to be done here. I think that this is just the prelude, and that was kind of what they were alluding to on 94 WIP today. But I think that this is a good move for the Phillies. I think Philly Rob came out and already said that he's not a platoon guy. He was a 2023 All-Star. So, I mean, the dude has a recent track record of being a good baseball player. But I don't know. Some people are thinking that maybe they still may go out and get a center fielder and put somebody else there. I'm not necessarily sure. I kind of think that they should stay put with what they've done now and move more to the bullpen, focus more on pitching. You're kind of good now of what you've done fielding wise. You got a couple bats there. Now go out and maybe get a certified closer is kind of what I would like, at least. So I like Austin Hayes. I think that he's a good player. He has a recent good track record, only 3 home runs this year, which is not the best. But obviously Baltimore's a hot team. They have all these younger guys that are coming in and out. So he was kind of getting overshadowed by that. Once again, credit to 94 WIP for telling me that today. Didn't know any of this or much about the guy until today. But from what I've seen in the little bit of tape that I've watched on him, he's legit. He's a legit talent with legit potential. And I think that he could be a not only good depth piece, but like a good piece for the Phillies moving forward. So shout out to them for not only just, making a run piece, but like a guy that could stay here if they want him to, if it all works out.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be a good trade. And as you said, he was an all-star. So, I mean, he's got the pedigree for it. It's just, they just got to put the paper to the pen. I mean, the pen to the paper. So we'll see what happens.
We shall see. We shall see. But moving along now to our final topic of the morning, Eagles next star. So camp is right now. I wanted to talk about who is your breakout candidate for next year, KJ, or who's your breakout Eagle? One guy that you really want to watch, one guy that you're watching throughout camp.
So with rookies, I'd probably say I'm really intrigued to see how Quinyon Mitchell does. I'm very excited to see how he does. The problem is, though, we might not see how well he does because there's a lot of cornerbacks we have right now. You got Slay, you have Ringo, you have Isaiah Rodgers, you have Avante Maddox, who's back. You have, I believe, is Bradbury still in the mix? I think he is. I'm pretty sure, as I've heard, I think he's still in the mix.
Yeah.
So him as well. So there's a lot of corners like that are already in front of Quinyon, or maybe not, because we did say that maybe Quinyon would start. So, but I think it's seeming like maybe he's got to fight for it. So, I mean, if he does, then I think maybe it'll be interesting to see if he can actually win the job. I mean, if he can be the other corner with Darius Slay, I mean, some guy that he looked up to. I think that's one guy. I think also with non-rookies, I think Devin White. I think that's a big I mean, even though I feel like with I kind of was saying a couple weeks ago about Saquon, but I do think Saquon will be the guy who's going to be insane, and he'll be the next star for the Eagles. But if I kind of change it a little bit, I'd probably say Devin White because I like what he was already doing. I heard that he did a group chat with Jalen Hurts and I think Devontae Smith.
AJ Brown, I think it was.
Oh, it was AJ Brown. Okay. And he like sent like a glass or whatever. And he was like, we have an empty glass. What can we do to fill it? And he's like, each game we just fill it. We fill it up and fill it up. And I like that a lot because even though it sounds stupid, it sounds like another Nick Sirianni flower thing. That same year, that whole Nick Sirianni flower crap, we went to the freaking Super Bowl. We did lose by 3 points. We did lose a game that I will never be able to freaking process it properly of what the freak happened. But we did go to the Super Bowl. And you got to realize that. We were really close. And I think with Devin White, he's won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. He knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl. He's been there. I mean, he played with one of the freaking best players ever. I mean, one of the best quarterbacks ever. Probably, the GOAT, Tom Brady. So he knows what it takes to win. And I think with Devin White, I think it's a great addition, and I think honestly he could strive with Vic Fangio's defense. I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that for me, my breakout player that I'm most looking forward to seeing is actually Keely Ringo. I know that may sound like a crazy one, and everybody's like, wait, Quinyon Mitchell, this, that. I think Mitchell is already a certified talent. I think that he's going to obviously be, he's going to be your cornerback number 2, no doubt, all day. Keely Ringo, I think, is somebody that could emerge in that slot spot. Kind of now that DeJean is going to be there, I think that DeJean's injury could kind of prolong that process. And Ringo's a smart player. We saw that last year. So this could kind of shake things up. I think that obviously you need depth pieces. You can't only have 3 cornerbacks. But I think that Keely Ringo could be a guy that becomes a real valuable piece for the Eagles by the end of this season. Whether that be a depth piece or whether he ends up being a starter, I don't know. But him and Milton Williams is another guy. Milton Williams has shown flashes in the past of what he can do and how powerful he can be when he wants to be at that defensive tackle position. Now that Fletcher Cox is gone, it's going to give him more opportunity, more time. And I think for a lot of you Eagles fans, you could be surprised. He could really, really make a name for himself and kind of emerge as a guy that could be defensive tackle 3, which defensive tackle 3 on a lot of teams doesn't mean a lot. On the Philadelphia Eagles, that's a big deal. You're going to get a significant amount of playing time. So if you can be behind Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and that third guy right there, right up, I think we're going to be in a good spot. So my favorite thing was what Devin White said is that Vic Fangio will call anybody out.
Yeah.
He does not care. He doesn't care if you're Jalen Carter. He doesn't care, I'm sure, if you're Darius Slay. So it's good, I think, that we kind of have that old school smash mouth, attitude, old guy in there. Yeah, get your act together, because same thing like you said, KJ, when we had that defensive coordinator, I'm going to draw a blank on his name like I always do. Jim Schwartz. Yeah, I always want to say Bill for some reason in my head. Yeah, Jim Schwartz. Phenomenal defensive coordinator.
He was great.
The year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But he was intimidating as fuck. Like when you looked at him, not only was he just like intimidating to look at, he was intimidating the way he coached. Not in a bad way, like actually in a way that you respected him. You wanted him to be proud of you. And, when you let him down, he let you know that. Not in a bad way, but because he knew what you were capable of. He expected more out of you. And the best coaches know, okay, this guy's capable of more. It's my job to coach him. It's my job to manage him to this next level. So I think that the Eagles finally have that, where some guys are afraid to get on guys' asses about those little things like that. Some coaches are afraid to speak up and say, hey, that wasn't enough. Good coaches aren't, because they know that their job is to coach. Their job is to make you better every day. Their job isn't to be nice and be your friend and hang out with you. Their job is to make you better and bring a championship to that city. So I'm glad that Vic the Mick, I heard a story real quick about him calling out Jalen Carter in front of the entire team at practice, which that just goes to show, man, same thing. He does not care if you're the first round precious draft pick, or he does not care if, you're a nobody. He's going to be calling you out either way, which totally respect it, totally love it. And I know that Jalen Carter can take it. Jalen Carter is a smart player. And watch, this will end up being an insane year for Jalen Carter with Vic Fangio. Mark my words.
Yeah.
It's either going to go really bad or really well.
He seems like he already does respect Vic Fangio, and a lot of the players already, even the young players, seem like they already respect him. I heard an interview of Jalix Hunt. He seems like he already respects the heck out of Vic Fangio. He's got a resume that is insane. So I mean, yeah, he's a really intimidating defense coordinator, and we need that around here because we haven't had that for a little while. So I think, yeah, as you said before, the whole Jim Schwartz thing, I mean, like he was in your face and he was accountable. So that was the thing that really led this defense to being a great defense. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting, and I'm so pumped for the Birds, and we'll be there next week for the open practice as well. So I mean, so that'll be awesome.
Yes, we will,
Stay
which
tuned.
will be insane. And stay tuned for more. We'll keep it on the DL for now. But KJ and I have
Yeah.
some pretty cool stuff cooking for you guys. Not much more else to say about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the whole show.
Mhm.
Also, Chris will be joining us back next week. So we'll have the whole gang
Yep.
here. I know that he's finally getting his house finalized. He's getting
Right.
that basement finalized. Stay
Are
tuned
we
for
gonna be
that.
doing? I was gonna ask you. We're gonna be doing this from the West Coast next week, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing it from California,
Yeah.
I guess.
So that'll be our
We'll
first
figure
time.
out a time to do the show or pre-record
Yeah.
it. But KJ and I will be in California when you guys see us next week, most likely. Unless we pre-record it on Thursday or something, but we're probably gonna
Yeah.
do it on either Friday or Saturday. So stay tuned for next week. And I don't have anything else to say if you don't have it. You have anything?
California.
Yeah, get ready, guys. Me and
Let's
KJ
go.
gonna be singing on the plane. He's got
Yeah.
all of his stuff ready. It should be a good trip.
I'm pumped.
And yeah, we're gonna have, I'm sure, every kind of Kobe jersey, every kind of, LeBron LA jersey will be, all the
Yeah.
LA gear will be broken out that we have as Philly guys, which I don't have much. Maybe KJ.
I'm a huge Kobe fan, always have been, and huge Shaq fan as well. So I got to get a picture in front of both of those statues at Staples Center. Not calling it the other .com center. Sorry, that's
There
Staples
you
Center.
go. There you go. But that's all we got for you guys this morning. If you guys can, on the way out of here, please like, comment, heart it on Facebook. If you're on Twitter, like the video for us, retweet it. All those little things really help us out a ton, and we appreciate you guys. We're all working really hard together on this network for a common cause. So as a fan, join in with us, get on the ground floor, and like it up, subscribe, all that good stuff. That's all I got. Hope everybody has a good weekend, and hit that outro.